Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chet, and I'm the CEO of ByoLogyc. I just want to let you know that what we do at ByoLogyc is about enriching and improving people's lives. These people in front of me here that are making all the noise turn up a lot at my events. I think they're usually there for the free champagne, and maybe the noise they're making tonight is because I didn't provide it for them. I know that they certainly enjoy a good drink because they smell like alcohol. Anyway, I just want to let you know that it's very exciting what we're doing at ByoLogyc, and tonight is in response to this vigilante group who is tampering with the great work we are doing. So I'm glad you're in line. I'm glad you're here to see what we're doing to fix the mess that's made by these vigilantes making all the noise. Thank you for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your experience.
They're liars! They're trying to kill you and profit from it!
BRX is the virus that we are scanning for in this clinic here. BRX is a man-made virus that was created by an online terrorist organization known as EXE. And what EXE did is that they took one of our drugs, BioRenew, which is a revolutionary drug that combats illness and disease, and they have modified it genetically to, in fact, do completely the opposite. And it has been accelerating the disease process, and in fact, thousands have now been infected, and that is why we have set up this emergency clinic to scan for people who may have been already infected and to stop the virus in its tracks.
Hi guys, this is the first experimental field report from Singularity One-on-One, a new feature for SingularityWeblog.com. As you would see, I'm sure you already have a number of questions, most notably, where are we and what are we doing here? But before we get there, I want to start with why we are here, and most importantly, who am I here with? So first of all, I'm going to ask my esteemed guest today on the show to present himself.
Hi everyone, I am Chet Getram. I am the CEO of ByoLogyc. ByoLogyc is a leading company in biotech lifestyle enhancement products.
Mr. Getram, first of all, thank you very much for taking time to talk to us today. I really appreciate it. For those of our viewers who have never heard of your company, perhaps it's best to start with a brief introduction. What do you do, what is your mission, and what kind of products do you put out there?
Our mission is persistence, potential, perfection. What we're about improving people's lives, encouraging them to live their best life, and giving them the tools that they need to do that. My father created the company, and I really feel that I have taken it to the next level. We have a number of fantastic products, ranging from BioBaby, which protects the fetus before it's even born, to our latest and greatest product that we've just launched called BioRenew, which is a simple capsule that you take that sets the structure for more subscriptions that you can then buy into. And these subscriptions may be, anything from something to protect against the common cold to something that protects against heart disease, or even more exciting, something like cancer, So
that's very interesting. So you want to sell your services as a subscription model. But before we get there, I want to go back to the original, the ByoBaby product. Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's a 3-step program available, and really what it does is it's giving the baby the best possible start. You know, it's an enhancement, and I think what we're going to find is that you know, as we go forward, the successful children, the kids that are getting into the best schools, they're going to be stamped as ByoBabies. I mean, we're already seeing them now. They're sort of 3-4 years old, and they're performing exceptionally well. And it's simply because, you know, just like BioRenew, we're giving them this barrier. They have it from day one, you know, and it's really very exciting.
That's fascinating, and it raises a number of ethical questions and dilemmas. But before we get there, tell me a little bit about the mechanism, about how you do that. Do you actually do what people occasionally refer to as designer babies, by pretty much picking the specific genes that you want the fetus to exhibit after the birth, or what's the mechanism that your product works on?
It's more like I guess you would say like a serum, or like it's an injection process.
To the mother, I presume, to the pregnant woman?
Yeah. Yes. So that's basically how it's administered. And then it takes course as the fetus develops. So that's basically how it's administered. Yeah.
And that sounds like pretty powerful stuff. Has there been an FDA approval? Or?
Of course. I mean, we have a great, obviously, as we're in Canada, we deal with the HPFP, and my father had a fantastic relationship with them, and I have continued to foster that. Really, when you're in the business of enriching and helping people improve their lives, you have to make sure you have those sort of people on board, you know, because if you're trying to run a business like mine and you're not on good terms with those sort of people, then you're not going to get anywhere. And as the head of the most powerful biotech company, you know, I'm proud to say that I have a very strong relationship with them.
That's a very frank answer, and I'm obviously quite taken aback by it, but I mean, doesn't it raise questions about the closeness of that relationship, and suppose any conflict of interest between you and them? And
no, because we jump through the same hoops that everyone jumps through. You know, I guess the added advantage we have is that what we do so well. So, you know, in all relationships, as you develop more and more levels of trust, you see it in all sorts of business, you know, and we have such a great track record that it may look sinister, but of course it's not. It's just it's a strong relationship built on trust.
Okay, so going beyond the mechanics of the way that product works, what about the ethical dilemma? Someone would say that basically you're providing rich people with a way of entrenching their future generation in their own wealth and creating a further bio-division, if you will, bio-discrimination even, between the rich and the poor, between those who can afford to purchase a product like that and those who can't.
Well, I mean, you have to start somewhere, and obviously in the business we're in, we need money. I mean, people see biotech and they start flashing dollar signs, you know. It's not true. Trust me, we need help, we need support. So obviously there is a price put on my products. But as we continue to roll them out, we're looking at ways to make them accessible to everyone. Everyone deserves to have the great life that these products provide, and that's definitely in my mission to make them available to everyone. You have to start somewhere, and then we're starting, as everything does, with a price on it, you know. But as it becomes more and more accessible, that price will lower, because everyone needs to have access to these products.
So does that mean to say that you dream of a world where every baby will be a ByoBaby?
I dream of a world where people are healthy. I dream of a world where people don't go to hospital when they're 75 because they get a cold. And that's what ByoBaby, that's what BioRenew, that's what all these products are for. And, you know, people come up to me and they say, you know, Chet, I want to live forever. And I mean, we're not in that sort of business. We're not about, you know, building fairy tales. We're about looking to the future. We're about building a healthy future for people. And we're about, you know,
Making money?
We're about giving people the opportunity to live their best possible life. And there should be no barriers to that. I think the biggest challenge is to encourage people to realize that they do have the power to live their best life. You know, because there's so much negativity out there. And, you know, really truly giving everyone the chance to believe that they can do whatever they want.
That almost sounds like a missionary statement, but let me move on to the next product that you briefly mentioned. Tell us a little more about that one.
The BioRenew?
The BioRenew, yeah.
BioRenew really is our best product to date. So it's a capsule, and we released it three or so months ago here in Toronto, because I truly believe that Toronto is really the city of the future. What the capsule does, it basically mixes up, I mean, I don't want to get into all the scientific stuff, I just want to just tell you that it mixes up in your system and gives us a way to start, you know, keeping track of what's going on in your system, basically. And it also sets the groundwork for the future subscriptions that I'm talking to. I mean, it gives something for these future subscriptions to interact with, to fight against, you know, viruses and different diseases that we will develop.
Doesn't that mean that you actually have control over my physiology, over my physical body? And if I, for example, stop paying my monthly subscription rate, what happens then?
Well, what it's about, you buy a subscription for a specific disease. So, for instance, if you are prone to tonsillitis, we have a great team of VIPs.
I have my tonsils removed.
Right. Well, then you won't need that subscription. But whatever your ailment may be, it may be the common cold, it may be ingrown toenails, I don't know, whatever, you pick it. We're still developing a lot of these subscriptions. We have our team out on the ground interacting with people, finding out what they need, and you just buy the subscription. And then you take the following subscription, and that builds your immunity to...
And what does that subscription provide us?
It provides you with immunity
to that specific condition?
Yeah.
Immunity for as long as we're paying our monthly...
Built on the BioRenew capsule.
I mean, I'm kind of like really pulled apart here. On the one hand, what you're doing makes people healthy, as you said. On the other hand, it creates a very scary business model in which apparently you take control over my biology and you have the control to provide me with immunity, and if I stop payments, then that immunity would lapse. And therefore I would again be susceptible to the previous conditions.
Do you like...
So it's like...
Do you watch HBO?
No, I don't watch TV.
What's your favorite... What's your favorite radio station? Do you like satellite radio?
Okay, yes, I do.
You like satellite radio.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite station?
Rock and roll, jazz, classics.
And do you pay for that station?
Yes, I do.
So if you stop paying for that station, you would no longer get to enjoy the great music. You wouldn't be able to switch it on in your car and have 300 channels to choose from your satellite radio, or switch it on in your house or whatever. If you stop paying them, they'll stop providing that service.
So you think that your service is no different, or should be no different than any other subscription business model?
Well, we're providing enrichment to people, you know, and I don't see, I mean, you tell me why it should be any different.
Well, dealing with our health, doesn't that fall within a different category?
Yeah, but if you want immunity, you buy the subscription and you get immunity. If you don't pay your bills, you don't get your radio. If you don't pay your bills, then unfortunately, as I said to you, people see a biotech company and they see dollar signs rolling around in their eyes.
What do you think
know,
of
I can't
open
afford
source?
to pay. I can't afford to pay for people that, you know, don't want to pay their bills.
I understand, but what about open sourcing that kind of research? For example, there's pirate radios. In the 70s and the 80s, there were famous examples of people going on ships off the coast of Britain and, you know, sending out free radio across Europe. Nowadays, we have open source software perhaps open source synthetic biology?
I think that's a great idea, and I think whoever's prepared to build the company that can afford to do that, that's exciting. But we're still growing. I know we're very powerful and we're doing great things, but BioRenew is 3 months old. So 3 months in, you're not going to be able to provide that to everyone. That's something I would love to do down the track. And I see it as something in the future that we will be able to do.
How many years of research and development did that product take?
I don't go into too much in terms of the developmental stages, but I will tell you that all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed.
Mm-hmm. So it's perfectly safe?
It's perfectly safe.
Okay, we're going to come back to that topic again.
Good.
But let's move on. Do you have any other products that you're proud of?
I'm proud of all my products. I mean, I encourage everyone to go to our website, ByoLogyc.com, where there is excellent sort of examples of what our products are and what they do. We have a great product, BioGrow, which is all about managing the hair growth on your body. We have a fantastic product called BioBreath.
Maybe I should give that one a try.
Yes, indeed. Well, I encourage you to give it a go. Why not? You've got nothing to lose.
On that topic, encouraging others to give it a go, are you a user yourself? Which products?
Of
Which
course.
product do you use
use all my products.
How about the BioBaby?
Well, I hope to one day be able to use that product. I mean, basically, I say I use all my products because I have no qualms about using each and every one of them. Mm-hmm. So I hope one day to be bringing in some BioBaby Getrams, so we'll just have to wait for that. But unfortunately, my hands are tied with looking after everyone else's children right now.
Okay, so I think we've covered sort of the basics of your company and your products, which brings us to the question, where are we now and what are we doing here? So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Nicola, when you get to the top of your game, there's always going to be people that want to attack and bring down the great work you're doing. And I find that pretty much every gathering I have, I find there's at least 2 or 3% of the people there that want to break it down. Unfortunately, we're not immune to that, and
Nobody sold you a subscription model to protect your own company?
Well, unfortunately, as I said, we're not immune, and we are facing a circumstance in which one of our products has been tampered with.
Which one?
The BioRenew has
the latest one, the
our
most
latest,
powerful one.
Yeah. It has a certain strain in it that is unproductive, let me say. So what we have done as a company is we've reacted to that, and we have set up a health and wellness clinic here for the community, for the people of Toronto that have already engaged with BioRenew, to come and get the subscription they need to fix that. As a company, we could have just swept it under the rug.
So how do we know that's not a result of your own product or your own sort of
because BRX, the
strain
virus
mutating in one way or another, and then
because I have clear proof that it's come from outside my organization.
Can you give us some
I
more
can't really speak to that because, to be honest with you, I don't want to give them any publicity. These people turn up at all my events and they're really trying to ruin my company. So I don't want to use this medium to give them any more fuel. But what I will say is that we are one step ahead of them, and we've reacted very quickly to this sort of vigilante invasion of the great work that we're doing. And provided here free of charge tonight for all the people in Toronto, as I said, who have already engaged with BioRenew, to come in, get the information they need, get the rejig that they need so they can step out the door and just go on with an enriched, better self. And not only that, but as part of that, for those who have not engaged with BioRenew yet, we're offering BioRenew for them free of charge tonight.
So let me just make this clearer for those of our viewers who may not understand it. So basically someone tampered with the recipe of BioRenew, and as a result there are side effects of what kind of, you said it's unproductive, but what does that mean in more specifically?
Well, we're in the
business
of enriching people's lives in every facet of their lives.
Okay.
So what these people have done is they've tampered with the strain, and it's not as productive as it should be.
But what does that mean? Do people die?
That just means that it's not productive.
Okay, but if we're dealing with my immune system, and if my immune system stops being productive, I probably die. Right? For example, HIV/AIDS is precisely an immunodeficiency virus, right? So the immune system is crucial to our survival.
It is, but this is about enrichment. I mean, we're not, so what we're doing is we're basically making people feel more comfortable by giving them what they need to overcome this strain that has been, tampered with.
So in essence, basically right now you're providing the antibody serum to counteract the unproductive strain, as you called it.
Yeah.
And that's free of charge?
Which I think is a great sort of we're showing great corporate responsibility by doing that.
Well, that's kind of like, in a way, excuse my language, like picking up your own mess.
It's not my mess, Nicola, and I want to be very clear about that. It's not my mess. See, there's always going to be people that want to ruin great work. I'm doing great work. There's people that are tampering with that work. So not only am I given the task of creating enrichment for people, I'm also given the task of dealing with the people that aren't open to that enrichment. I'd love it if I didn't have to deal with these people. But I do have to deal with them. And it's a sidetrack. And it's a waste of my time. But I have enough responsibility to provide this forum here so everyone feels safe.
That's fantastic, and I totally agree with you, but I personally, as an interviewer, would have liked a little more evidence so that our viewers can weigh the evidence on their own.
Well, you are welcome to go and speak to anyone you want, but as I said, I'm not going to give them press here.
I understand. Okay, so let's move on to other issues then. So you're basically starting up with a noble goal, to keep people healthy and to improve the world, to allow them to live a more productive, healthier, longer lives. How do you feel when you have such a noble mission and then you face such violent opposition? People supposedly go and tamper with your products, destroy or at least threaten the reputation and the integrity of your product, your own company. You have violent protests occasionally where you go. People come with signs with your own picture. How does that make you feel?
I'm disappointed, basically. This company is built on a great man, my father, who I don't speak of often. And it saddens me. Sad and disappointed is what I'll say, which I think is the strongest way I can
Okay, and the last question that I always want to ask of my guests on this show is always the same, and that is, what's the message, the personal message that you'd like to send out there? The most important thing that our viewers can take away from this interview with you today. What would you like that to be?
I want people to know that ByoLogyc is giving them the opportunity to live their very best life. We're giving them all the tools they need. We're developing bio-retreats, which is places where they can go to learn these tools, so they have the kit they need to live their very best life. And if they're not excited by that, then, I don't know what will get them excited, because really, this is their opportunity to be the very best they can be. And we invite them to join us because truly we are the way of the future, and there is still a lot to do.
Mr. Getram, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.